Welcome to PAATH History YouTube channel. Subscribe our channel for regular notification and follow our official Facebook page. Today we are going to discuss about prehistoric art and rituals. Upper Paleolithic art began evolving in Eastern Europe, especially in Hungary, Yugoslavia, and Southwest Asia. Subsequently, it reached its peak in Western Europe. Upper Paleolithic art was first discovered in the last quarter of the 19th century. In 1879, Don Marcelino de Sautola found paintings on the roof of a cave in Altamira, Spain. The realistic manner in which the paintings depicted animals in motion was considered to be beyond the capacity of Paleolithic humans. The paintings were of such an astounding quality that the scientific society doubted their authenticity. Many people simply did not believe prehistoric man had the intellectual capacity to produce any kind of artistic expression. It was not until 1902 when the paintings were acknowledged as genuine. Subsequent work on the paintings confirmed that these were indeed Paleolithic paintings. Henry Breville did pioneering research on Upper Paleolithic art. Apart from Altamira, another famous Upper Paleolithic cave is situated at Lascaux in France. The Lascaux Caves are a cave complex in southwestern France, decorated with some of the most impressive and famous cave paintings in the world. The Lascaux paintings are estimated to be 17,000 years old. Located in the Northern Territory of Australia, Kakadu National Park contains one of the greatest concentrations of Aboriginal art sites in Australia. Approximately 5,000 art sites have been discovered in Kakadu along the escarpment and on rock outliers. The Aboriginal paintings are estimated to range in age from 20,000 years to the recent present, although most of the paintings are less than 1,500 years old. The Chauvet Cave in southern France contains some of the earliest known prehistoric cave paintings in the world. Based on radiocarbon dating, the oldest paintings in the cave may be up to 32,000 years old. The cave was discovered in 1994. Tadrat Akakos form a mountain range in the Sahara Desert of western Libya. The area is known for its rock paintings dating from 12,000 BC to 100 AD. The paintings reflect the changing environment of the Sahara Desert, which used to have a much better climate. 9,000 years ago, the surroundings were green with lakes and forests, and with large herds of wild animals as demonstrated by rock paintings of animals such as giraffes, elephants, and ostriches. The Serra da Capivara National Park in northeast Brazil is home to numerous rock shelters that are decorated with cave paintings. The paintings include scenes of rituals and hunting, trees and animals capybaras. Some scientists believe that the oldest cave paintings in the park are created 25,000 years ago. Cave paintings were not the only art form produced by these cultures. Thousands of other art objects have also been found. These include handles of tools, statues, and clay figures. The sites associated with the Aurignacian culture, the time is from 34,000 to 30,000 years ago, contain the first extensive evidence of Upper Paleolithic art. There is practically no Aurignacian paintings, but there are a number of beautifully carved ivory beads which were used for ornamentation. They also made a flute-like wind instrument from bone. In the Solutrean culture, the time is from 22,000 to 18,000 years ago. Early paintings were rough outlines. But over a period of time, the lines become graceful and are filled with details. The Solutreans were also expert at carving figures on walls of caves. This technique is called bas relief or low relief, where the figures are slightly raised on the surface of the wall. Upper Paleolithic cave paintings reached their fullest development in the Magdalenian culture. The time is from 18,000 to 11,000 years ago. V. Gordon Childe refers to the Magdalenian as the most brilliant culture created by hunter-gatherers. Nearly 80% of all Upper Paleolithic cave paintings are from Magdalenian sites. Lamps containing animals' fat were used for lighting up the caves. Many of these animals, though not all, are animals that were hunted by the Magdalenians. There are also hunting scenes, geometric patterns, and a few fantastic animals which combine features of different animals. Scholars have speculated about the underlying motives of this art. At one end of the debate are those who feel that this is merely art for art's sake, that is, just for the aesthetic pleasure provided by art, and that it is futile to see any meaning in it. At the other end are those who have read so much meaning into it that their critics have pointed out that we should refrain from imposing meanings drawn from our experience on this art. One thing that is immediately apparent is that it is incorrect to dismiss Upper Paleolithic humans as primitive people incapable of intricate patterns of thought. Upper Paleolithic people had their own coherent worldview. Modern anthropological studies have forced us to rethink about the concept of primitiveness. Anthropological studies of present day provided that prehistorians have attempted to examine the thought process which went into the making of Upper Paleolithic art. Breuil did pioneering research on this art, which was deeply influenced by the work of S. Rank at the beginning of the 20th century. Using Rank's suggestion, Breuil argued that Upper Paleolithic paintings were magical in nature. The term magic is used here in the sense of a ritual or practice which is intended to exert control over some objects or natural phenomena. At another level, magical rituals marked the beginnings of religious beliefs since they involved developing a coherent worldview, a particular way of looking at the world. The purpose of the ritual was to give the hunters greater control over the animals which they hunted. It was for this reason that animals like bison, reindeer, and horse constituted the predominant theme of these paintings. There is some disagreement about the exact objective underlying the ritual. Some prehistorians have argued that Breuil's understanding of the ritual is oversimplified. The hunters were not thinking in terms of overpowering a particular animal by just drawing it. Moreover, the animals which were drawn were not always those which formed the staple diet of a particular group. André Leroi-Gourhan, another major authority on these paintings, has approached the problem from a different perspective. Unlike Breuil, who looked at individual animal, Gourhan has tried to place the animals in groups. He has found that certain groups of animals are uniformly depicted in certain parts of the caves. There is a pattern in this depiction. For instance, bison and horse are invariably depicted deep inside the caves. On the other hand, deer were always drawn near the entrance of the caves. According to Gourhan, complex set of beliefs underlay the paintings. Their arrangement suggests that different groups of animals were linked to different natural phenomena in the mind of Upper Paleolithic people. He has gone further and proposed that animals were grouped according to a male-female division of nature. Some forces were supposed to represent maleness and others femaleness. The male animals, for example horse, stag, were representative of the male principle, while the female animals, for example bison, ox, represented the female principle. However, Gourhan's interpretation has been disputed by many prehistorians. Some have even stated that, considering the length of time which separates our society from the Upper Paleolithic, it is doubtful whether we can ever unravel the pattern of thinking which produced the paintings. The nature of the ritual that was practiced by the Paleolithic people is a very important issue to be considered. Some scholars have seen the beginnings of witchcraft here. Another hypothesis by Count Beguin viewed that the ritual consisted of the act of drawing itself. In drawing an object, the painter was performing a ritual. Beguin's suggestion is based on two significant features of the paintings. First, in many cases the figures are drawn repeatedly at the same spot in respective caves. The act of drawing at that particular spot, which could be regarded as sacred, seems to be more important than the painting itself. Second, the majority of the paintings are located in dark and inaccessible parts of caves. This meant the drawing of painting was a very difficult job. The person drawing a figure could therefore be regarded as performing a ritual. Moreover, since the paintings were executed in remote interiors of the caves, where hardly any natural light penetrated, they could not have been meant for viewing. Hence, the act of drawing was itself the ritual. The appeal of this interpretation lies in its simplicity. Then we can move towards India. In Mesolithic art at Bhimbetka and elsewhere, animals are represented in their own or as part of hunting scenes. The hunters are sometimes accompanied by dogs. While some of the animal figures are rather abstract, many of them are very realistic. Animals are sometimes shown in outline. In other instances, their bodies are decorated with designs. A few paintings are in the X-ray style, showing the inner organs, including fetuses in the womb of female animals. There is a lot of movement in the scenes. There are also fantastic animals. The famous Bhimbetka boar has the body of a boar but a snout like a rhinoceros, the underlip of an elephant, and the horns of a buffalo. In Europe, most prehistoric paintings tend to be located in dark, relatively inaccessible parts of the caves, but those in Indian rock shelters are usually in well-lit areas easily seen. The best paintings were not, however, made in shelters that were living spaces. Some of the big paintings on high surfaces would have required scaffolding and the cooperation of many people. Such paintings and those made in layers suggest some kind of ritualistic significance. Art makes an entirely new phase in human history in the development of thought and imagination. So this is the end of our today's discussion. Subscribe our YouTube channel for regular notification and follow our official Facebook page. For any query, feel free to write us. For details, see the description.